Okay, so I wanted to do a really quick video. I would have made this earlier, but I had a sinus infection that lasted probably a good week or week and a half, so I've been slowly recovering from that, but I wanted to make a video. Someone had asked me my opinions on social media and how it should be approached from the perspective of someone with Asperger syndrome. I'll define social media as pretty much any method of communication, I guess other than traditional telephone, so Skype, Facebook, any kind of website, anything that uses like a computer or an iPad or something like that. But I think social media is overall, it can be beneficial in that people who don't know how to make the first move in social settings, in physical social settings, have the opportunity to plan and think out what they're going to say, because I never know what to say to anybody in a physical setting without coming off as some kind of creep. And social media allows, it allows a person to, say something, bring up a conversation, and I guess not come off as a creep, or come off as less of a creep, depending on what they say. But, I guess it's just more socially accepted to communicate with strangers in social media settings, still more than physical settings, at least here. That may be different in some other countries, but here in the US, I think it's still generally kind of seen as weird or creepy if you just go up to a stranger and start talking to them or asking about their lives, especially if it's like the opposite sex. But yeah, one thing I would like to see, and I don't know if anything like this exists, but like some kind of, I guess, version of Facebook or something just for Aspies. I know there's the Wrong Planet forums, and I think there's some other forums too, but something similar to Facebook just for people on the autism spectrum would be really great. Because, it's kind of hard to connect with other people who have Asperger's syndrome unless you have a way to put yourself out there to begin with, just so people will see you. I mean, that's what I've had to do with this channel. And I've seen and heard from a lot of people from around the world with Asperger's syndrome, and would have never known they existed if not for this channel. So yeah, I would say social media can be beneficial for people on the spectrum, especially those like me who are just incredibly awkward in person. But with that being said, I want to make it clear that I am not a fan of Facebook. I rarely get on Facebook, and when I do, it's usually to maybe share a quiz or a picture or something. I rarely get on there and spout off my opinion on something or anything like that. The main reason I don't like Facebook is because it's very hard to approach a stranger, somebody that you don't already know, and make friends with them. It used to be really easy back when MySpace was the primary social media. It was more, I guess, accepted to friend request complete strangers and strike up a friendship. But now I think due to the whole, and I think it's media hysteria, that's my opinion, but due to the whole media hysteria around, so-called online predators and everything, I think people just have started to imprint in their minds the idea that everyone who talks to a stranger that they don't already know online is some kind of creep or pervert. I think that idea is just so widespread due to the fear and all the news stories and everything you see on the internet and on TV about stalkers and creeps and pedophiles. And granted, I know those people are out there, and I totally understand being concerned about that, but the majority of people out there are not creeps and pedophiles and stalkers. The majority of people are just, if they talk to you, they might just be genuinely interested or want to strike up a friendship or something. It doesn't necessarily mean dark motives or dark ulterior motives. And Facebook has just become, it's really just an online version of a high school cafeteria. All it is just a bunch of webs of just groups of people who are into things and who already know each other, and it's very difficult to join any of these webs of people or just try to meet someone that you don't know already. And like I said, part of this is just the whole psychological walls that people have built up with regards to social media, and also because the mechanics of the website itself, with their extreme security measures, or they say it's security measures, but I think it's just, it kind of becomes a psychological / social wall that people have built around them. But yeah, it's very difficult to meet new people on Facebook because you immediately get the stigma that you're some kind of creep. So needless to say, I was definitely more a fan of MySpace back in the day, and I'm not a fan of Facebook at all. But overall, I think social media can be beneficial to people with Asperger syndrome. It just depends on the context.